So I'm going to suggest something. It used to sound fantastical, out of our price range, nobody can do it. But consider a trip to Africa. You know, and going to Africa seems like unobtainable for so many, but it really is getting more and more reasonable all the time. You can fly to Africa and hunt a package for plains game, for example. It might cost you $3,000 to $5,000 once you're in country. And they'll take care of you every step of the way. You can shoot 4 or 5 different animals. And we've just had so much fun getting to go and do in a week what it would take a couple or 3 seasons to do here in the US. So I want to encourage you to do that. And if you're going to do it, make it fun. We really enjoyed our last trip to Africa. Sheila and I were just there a month and a half ago or so. And I like to take guns with me that are unique and cool. So this year when we went to Africa, I was going to be hunting Cape buffalo. Cape buffalo is heavy, gnarly, mean, classic African dangerous game. Probably the first dangerous game that a person will hunt out of the big 5. So I took with me a classic African cartridge, the 9.3 by 62. 9.3 by 62 is a 9.3 diameter bullet, that's millimeters, and 62 millimeters long. That's a classic African round. I had a gunsmith friend of mine rebarrel an 1895 Winchester. This was a high-grade remake of the Winchester 95. This particular gun, I don't know, might have been made in the early 2000s, something like that. We rebarreled it. We put the Safari sling swivel stud out on the barrel so there's no recoil issues with the hand, because this is a heavy recoiling load. Classic African style Safari barrel band front sight. Decelerator pad with a heavy kicking round. Don't be afraid to use a sissy pad, as some people call them. That decelerator pad is just perfect. And I went to Africa with a Teddy Roosevelt style 1995 Winchester lever gun. Teddy Roosevelt called it his medicine gun. He used mostly the 405 Winchester. This particular one in 9.3 by 62 has outperformed expectations. It certainly exceeded them. We shot water buck with this, shot Cape buffalo with this, I've shot Nyala with it, zebra, several really heavy boned animals and good sized animals. And each time that 9.3 has just put the smack down on them like you'd expect it to. We always want our kills to be ethical. We always want them to be quick. So we use a big bullet. This is a 250 grain bullet that I was using, Barnes triple shock, so I got the penetration that I needed. And I just fell in love again. The last 3 trips to Africa, I've taken an 1895 Winchester. I fell in love again with this gun. It's iconic. There's something special about taking the shot, working the action, and seeing a big chunk of brass go sailing over your head. It's just magical. And then you can smell that powder in the air. The 1895 Winchester will handle those heavy pressure rounds. It'll handle the 405, which is a larger 40 caliber bullet. Those usually run around 300 grains. The 9.3 is a 286 grain bullet to a 250 grain bullet. You want heavy, deep penetrating rounds when you're hunting those African animals. It's not that they're so much tougher than everything else on the planet, but they do certainly take a lot of knockdown to anchor them before they run off into the thorn brush where you're going to have to blood trail them. We didn't want to blood trail the buffalo. PH said shoot him, and once you hit him, keep shooting until he goes down. I shot that buffalo at about 50 yards, lever, 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 and 4 rounds in the buffalo before he'd run into the brush. And he died right inside the brush at about 40 yards from where I'd first hit him. Consider going to Africa. You'll have a good time. We sure did. I'm Andy at Skinner Sights. We're saving the world, one gun sight at a time.